Hello, you wonderful human beings. Welcome to the British Pronunciation Training 2025. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. And now we are here. Welcome. I've been looking. There are people from all over the world. Marcelo from Brazil, uh, Ana Luisa from France, Tiziana, I'm guessing you might be Italian. Welcome. There's lots of different people. Anna from Iran, welcome. Maria Kamsi, somebody from Bath, not far away. I live on the Isle of Wight. I am live from the Isle of Wight right now. Hello, let me know where you're watching from. Ladies and gentlemen, it is here. It is finally here. I'm very excited. I've been sitting here for the last couple of minutes, just really exciting. As I said, welcome to the British Pronunciation Training 2025. I am genuinely honored to have you with me here. I am absolutely honored. Whether you're tuning in and you're watching live, whether it's from the UK, whether it's from Brazil, Poland, Italy, Spain, Turkey, Iran, I can see you. And tonight, we're going to start something that might just shift how you speak and how you feel about speaking. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you a question. My slides are here. Do you want to speak English fluently? Not just correctly, but with confidence, rhythm, and presence? Do you want to show your real personality in English, your humor, your intelligence, your full self, the same way you do in your native language? Let me know. If your answer is yes, I've just seen Chelsea's here. Hello, Chelsea. If your answer is yes, there's lots of yeses. Look at this. Definitely. Of course I want. Oh my goodness. The comments are going quicker than I can press. I press one comment, something else is coming up. Jane Roth, I see you. You've gone. Simona, yes. Well, if you're answering yes, then you are in exactly the right place. And I want to say this clearly. I want to tell you something really important. This training isn't about surviving in English. It's not for people who just want to order a coffee or ask for directions. Excuse me, do you know where the way to the bank? Not this kind of thing. You've already done the hard part. You understand me clearly right now without subtitles. And that means that you're already fluent in understanding. But now we're going to bring that fluency into your speaking, because that's where so many advanced learners, they get stuck. You've studied English for years. Some of you even live in the UK, or you teach English yourselves. Let me know if you're a teacher. Let me know. I'd love to know other teachers. Maybe you live in the UK. I saw people from Bath. I saw people, probably there are people watching here from the Isle of Wight right now. And you've lived in the UK for years. You've been speaking English for years, but yet something about your pronunciation still feels off, or you feel stuck, or it's just not you when you're talking. Can you relate to any of these things I'm going to say? I understand everything when I speak, but I don't sound fluent. I've been living in the UK for years, and I still don't feel like my pronunciation reflects who I am. If I had a native speaker to practice with every day, then maybe I'd improve. If any of those three things feel familiar, anything that I've said, type yes in the chat. Let me know. Teachers. Brilliant, Ben John. Teachers here. Let me know if any of those three things, have you ever felt like your pronunciation just doesn't reflect who you are, the wonderful human being that you are? Let me know. Yeah, Amanda says yes. That girl says yes. Jane Roth says yes. I've caught you this time, Jane Roth. You're there on my screen. You're faster. Melissa says she's lived in the UK for 6 years. Hello to you in Poland. Where are you, Krakow? Definitely yes. I'd love to improve pronunciation. The comments are going quicker than I can catch. Too often makes me sad. So that's why we're here to change. So the question is, if all of that is true that you've just said, if you've been learning English for maybe more than 10 years, some of you live in the UK and you speak it every day, and yet you still don't feel proud of how you sound. What does that tell us? What does that tell us? Is it because you're not good enough? No, it's not because you're not good enough. It's not about your talent. It's not even about time. It doesn't matter if you've been here 10 years or 50 years. It's about method. And that's what we're talking. We're talking tonight about the first lesson. We're going to talk over 3 days, 3 classes. And tonight we're going to focus on mastering British pronunciation with the 3-step method. You don't need more English. You don't need more words. You need to retrain the way your mouth moves, the way that your brain hears, the way the sounds come out of you. And that's what we're going to do starting today. You are not too late. You are not broken. You are not the exception. We are all the same. Brothers and sisters around the world, you are not the exception. You simply haven't been given a method that works with your brain and your body, not against it. That is what we call the pronunciation rewire method. It's a method that I've developed and taught to thousands of students, from total beginners to teachers and professionals. It's rooted in neuroscience, in linguistics, and in real life results. So if you're ready to shift the way you sound and how you feel about speaking, type "I am ready" in the comments. I want to see people typing "I am ready" because it is time. Let us declare it together. You're not just here to watch, you're here to change something. Let me know. I suppose I better tell you as well. Somebody said "I'm ready." Let's start, says somebody. Winky face. Winky face at you as well. We have started and we are starting. Things take time to build, my dear. They take time. Quite ready, says Roya. My name with an A on the end. Welcome. So let me tell you how the next few days will work and what you can expect from the experience. We're going to meet here live, right here, for 3 transformational lessons. Each one builds on the other. And together, they will give you the tools, the insights, and practices to start rewiring your pronunciation with clarity and intention. So let me walk you through what is exactly coming. Day 1, we're beginning with the foundation. You'll discover today the 3-step framework of the pronunciation rewire method. This is where you shift not only your mindset, but you explore how your native language influences your speaking and show you how fluency isn't just about knowing more words, it's about retraining the way you speak. That's today. Tomorrow is when things get really practical. You're going to learn how to build the right oral posture sound by sound. And you're going to learn how to spot the most common pronunciation mistakes that may be holding you back without you even realizing. We're going to activate your awareness, your muscles, and your confidence. Day 3 is arguably the big one. The big one. Sounds like a whale in the sea, doesn't it? But there you go. This is the magic piece that most learners never get taught. Accent melody training. You'll discover how to link words, create rhythm, use intonation, and speak with natural music, the natural melody of a modern British RP accent. This is where your speech starts to feel fluent, flowing, and finally like you. So it is 3 days. You need to be present for all 3 days, and it will all make sense. And if by the end of our 3 days together, you feel lit up by this process, if you're thinking, yes, this is what I've been looking for, then I will open up a few exclusive spots on my full program, The Ultimate British Pronunciation Guide. Whether you join or not, though, my course, these 3 days are designed to create a real shift in speaking, a shift in your confidence, and a shift in how you see yourself in English. If you're committed to this journey, just let me know. Say yes. Let's anchor in this intention together. Now, for those of you who don't know me, there is something very important about my story, but let me introduce myself properly. My name is Roy Woodhouse, and yes, I am your pronunciation coach for the next 3 days, but I'm also somebody who knows exactly what it feels like to shift identity through language. I've been teaching English to students from all over the world for nearly 15 years. I've taught in some of the most prestigious schools in London, in Cambridge. I've worked for the BBC. I've trained professionals, actors, teachers, immigrants, linguists. But more than any of that, I'm also someone who's walked this path personally. I didn't grow up speaking, let me make this bigger, with a modern British RP accent. Oh, in fact, let me make this smaller for a second. My roots are in the Midlands, in Derby, a city called Derby to be exact. And like many of you, I've experienced what it feels like to not quite fit in because of the way I spoke. As a child, I moved to the Isle of Wight. Let me show you the Isle of Wight. So I moved. Ooh, let me make this there. From this part of England here, all the way to the south. I moved to an island, and suddenly the way I spoke became something that people noticed. Pavlo, you live in Derbyshire, whereabouts? It's from Nottingham. I was born in Nottingham, and I grew up in Ilkeston for 6 years. But suddenly when I moved to the Isle of Wight, it was a very different accent. And I faced judgment. I felt pressure to change. I just wanted to belong. I wanted to fit in. And over time, with intention, with training and support, I chose to develop my voice. Not to become somebody I'm not, but to expand who I could be. And that's where the pronunciation rewire method is about. It is not about losing your roots or erasing your identity. It's about adding a new skill, a new level of confidence, clarity, and connection so you can show up fully in English. There's so many people watching from Derby. This is amazing. I'm not here to make you sound like me. I'm here to help you sound like you. Fluent, expressive, and at ease with yourself. This is why I'm so passionate about this work, because I know it's possible. I've seen people's lives change time and time again. So we need to talk, though, about pronunciation. Pronunciation versus accent. Let me take a moment to clear something up with you because it really matters. This is really important. There is a big difference between accent and pronunciation. Most learners don't realize that. So they end up feeling confused, frustrated, or even ashamed of how they speak. Let me explain. Your accent tells a story. It's where you're from, the languages that you've learned, your cultural background. It's part of your identity. It's personal, and no, it's not a problem. But pronunciation is a skill. It's how clearly your sounds come out. It's a big difference between being understood or misunderstood. We're going to give you a couple of examples. There's a difference between sounding hesitant, like that, or sounding confident. And here's the truth. Your accent can be beautiful, but your pronunciation should never be a barrier. I see so many amazing people, smart, funny, fluent in thought, and yet they feel a bit small or stuck when it's time to speak. Why? Well, this is the important first point. Because they're trying to use the sounds of their first language to speak in English, and those sounds just don't fit. They weren't designed for English. If I wanted to learn Nepalese, I'm going to learn some new sounds. If I want to learn Spanish, I'm going to learn some different sounds. If I want to learn any language on this planet, I need to learn some different sounds. I can't take my O diphthong from English and ask for a cappuccino in Italy. Cappuccino, it doesn't sound the same. So the thing is, sometimes though, your message gets blurred. Instead of feeling free, you feel like, oh, I need to hide. This is where pronunciation training comes in. You're not going to erase your accent. You're going to refine your sound so you can speak clearly and confidently without second guessing yourself. Think of it this way. Excuse me. Let me have a drink. It's important. Think of it like this. Your accent is your color palette, but your pronunciation is kind of your brush. Think about art. The better your brush, the better your pronunciation, the clearer your message becomes. And no matter what colors you use, it doesn't matter. What's the best part? You don't need to be a child or live in the UK for 20 years to improve. Pronunciation is trainable. It's not magic. I'm not Harry Potter. It's muscle memory. And with the right method, a method rooted in how your brain and body actually work, then you can actually rewire the way you speak. And that's what we're doing together this week. And if that resonates with you, if you want to speak English in a way that sounds fluent, feels natural, and full of you, just let me know. Let me know that you want that clear pronunciation, not just good English. I want clear pronunciation, not just good English. Let me know, because today we are starting to build. Let me know. Love you too. Jolenta says, I'm with you. Ahmed says, yes, definitely, Stefania. Elenis is from Russia. I want, says Anna. Yes. Maria says, hello from Italy. Hello. Clear pronunciation. Want it. I'm here in the classroom. Yes, of course. Yes, I love you guys. I absolutely love you guys. So, I told you that I'm going to be teaching in a modern British RP accent. And that's the accent that I chose to learn when I was a child. Ironically enough, it's not the accent from the Isle of Wight. It is a neutral accent. So why a modern British RP accent? With so many beautiful... Oh, first of all, I should probably tell you that modern RP, those two letters stand for received pronunciation. Received pronunciation and modern received pronunciation are slightly different things. RP is old, slightly outdated, potentially, and modern RP is modern, it's current. So why? Why this accent? Well, because modern RP is still one of the most recognizable, respected, and widely understood accents of British English. It's not tied to one region. If you go to Birmingham, you could hear an RP speaker. If you go to Derbyshire, you could hear an RP speaker, a modern RP speaker. Go to everywhere. There are a lot of us speakers found in the southeast, but there are a lot of us across the country. There's not just one place where you're going to find them. It's often associated with clarity. Hopefully you can understand me, education, and professionalism, especially in international contexts. And it's the accent that I'm speaking with now. Not because I was born into it, but because I chose to learn it. I grew up in the Midlands. I'm very proud of that. My accent, my original accent, is still part of who I am. It's how my parents speak, and I'm proud of that. But when I moved as a child, as I say, I faced judgment. I felt the way that I spoke was being held against me. So I did something about it. I worked with speech coaches. I studied linguistics. I learned how to retrain my voice. I wasn't pretending I was someone else, but it was to unlock opportunities and confidence that just felt sort of out of reach. By the way, do you want to know something ironic? I've spent all week building that Lego Tower Bridge, and now you can't see it by my head. But there you go. Modern RP has helped me walk into rooms. It's helped me in interviews, in studios, in classrooms, and it's helped me to be heard. It's how I built a career as a teacher, a presenter, and a coach. And it's how I've helped many of my students to have gone on to do the same in their jobs, in their studies, and in their lives. Now, I'm pretty sure that you would like to know some features of a modern RP accent. Let me explain very quickly. First of all, you may hear it with people like Benedict Cumberbatch, Emma Watson, and Daniel Radcliffe. Many journalists and politicians also use this accent. Now, when I came to the South from Derby, these sort of words were causing me issues. So in the South, with a modern British RP accent, it's cup, cup. But originally, I was saying cup, cup. It's a completely different vowel sound. I was saying grass, whereas many people were saying grass. And a word like king, as I now say it, I would say as king, king. And those were three examples of signature sounds from a Derbyshire accent and three examples of signature sounds from a modern British RP accent. Cup, grass, and king are now how I say those three words. But I arrived here saying cup, grass, and king. Signature sounds are something that is so important. They are sounds that belong to specific languages, specific accents, specific ways of pronunciation. And if you learn those sounds, you will sound more natural in your second language. Now, here's the thing I do want you to remember, though. Oh, let me just make that. There is no perfect accent. There's not one right way to speak. You don't, but there are sounds that make speech feel clear, natural, and fluent. And that's what we're here to train. Because when somebody says, wow, you sound British, what they're actually hearing is a combination. Let me give you some examples. What they're actually hearing is a combination of signature sounds, those small details that make a big difference. So instead of in cup, we have the in cup. That's a signature sound. They're hearing your intonation. That's the rise and fall of your voice. They're hearing your rhythm, the pace and spacing between your words. And most importantly, they're hearing confidence in your delivery. That's what they're hearing when they say, wow, you sound British. Signature sounds, intonation, rhythm, and confidence. You could have a Polish accent, a Brazilian accent, an Italian accent, or a Spanish accent, and still speak in a way that sounds elegant, professional, and fluent in British English. That is the magic of pronunciation work. We're not changing who you are. We're teaching your mouth, your muscles, and your brain to align with the language you've worked on so hard to learn. And I want to say, by the way, thank you for learning English. I'm sure not many people say that, but you've made a choice that makes it possible for us, me and you, to communicate. And I love you for that. So if you're ready to explore the sounds, the rhythm, and melody of modern British RP, not just copy someone, but express yourself fully in English, let's keep going. There is a lot ahead of us. Now, I want to say something that might surprise you. Speaking isn't always the solution. I know, right? I know. We've been told this. We've been told many, many times that the more we speak, the better we get. The more we practice, the better we get. And yes, practice matters, but only if you're practicing the right thing. Because here's what I hear, what I see and hear all the time. People living in the UK for years, still stuck with those same fossilized pronunciation problems. People speaking English every day at work and still feeling awkward when they talk. Students talking conversation classes nonstop, but not improving the way that they sound. Why? Because conversation alone doesn't improve or correct unconscious habits. In a normal chat, wait for this, nobody's going to stop you and say, hey, your tongue is in the wrong position for that vowel. Nobody's going to do that. It's weird. Imagine being on the bus and you say something and somebody says, excuse me, your tongue's in the wrong position. Not going to happen. Or nobody's ever going to say, actually, the way you're linking those words, it's not quite right. It's making you sound a bit robotic. And most native speakers, even great ones, they don't have the tools to express why something sounds off. Let me give you some examples of why something might sound off. Maybe you're putting the wrong stress. In English, English is a stress timed language. It's a stress timed language, opposed to Italian, which is a syllable timed language. Italian is syllable timed. It requires syllables. It's syllable time. It's much more democratic in the way that we stress language. That's why we have these beautiful words like cappuccino. Oh, beautiful. Sorry if that didn't sound quite right, but in a stress timed language, not all sounds or words are equal. In this expression here, bottle of water, in the word bottle and water, we stress they both have two syllables and we stress the first. Bottle, water. Bottle, water. Now, if you stress the wrong syllable, it becomes more like botella water, botella water, botella water. That sounds really unusual. You're stressing the wrong syllable. You might just do it with one word. Can I have a botella water? What? No native speaker is going to tell you that you're stressing the wrong syllable. Maybe it's not a problem with stress at all. Maybe it's the vowels. Maybe you're not saying the vowels correctly. Okay? Two words on that screen right now, next to my head. There, isn't it? Sorry, it's all reversed on the screen. Let me get a drink. Those two words terrify the majority of students. Why? The vowels. So both of them have a long E vowel sound. We're going to focus more on that tomorrow. So these two words are sheet and beach. If you pronounce it with a short I, it suddenly becomes shit and bitch. Sorry for my bad language, but that's what happens. So what do students do? Well, they ignore the vowels, they try to skip the vowels, and they focus on the consonant sounds. So they end up becoming more like bitch, bitch, when they're trying to say beach. They're not focusing on the vowels. They're trying to cover it over. Again, most native speakers are just going to say, what? I'm sorry? You want to go to the bitch? Or they might just kind of brush over it and never help you. Yeah, sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. Sorry. They'll get away with it. Maybe it's not a problem with vowels or wrong stress. Maybe it's you're adding an extra sound at the end. Girl. Maybe you're using the wrong consonant sound. Yes, this is something we're going to focus on tomorrow. How to pronounce that word without being terrified. There's a trick, an important sound. Maybe it's nothing about sounds in terms of mispronunciations. Maybe you're trying to pronounce all of the sounds and all of the letters exactly the same. Maybe you're looking at a word like clothes and you're trying to say clothes, clothes. If you speed it up, that's going to be really difficult. I'm going to buy some clothes. I can't do it. Why would you do it? Maybe you're trying to pronounce English better than me. You could pronounce sounds that we don't need to pronounce. In a natural flowing speech, I'm going to drop that sound. I'm going to say, I'm going to buy some clothes. You can't slow that down, otherwise it sounds wrong. But at natural speed, we drop the v sound there. Same with the second word. Exactly. Ooh. Maybe I could just get rid of that t sound and make it exactly. Exactly. If you are trying to pronounce the t in exactly, you're going to struggle. Yes, you got that exactly right. Gosh, I'm just sorry, everybody. Sorry. But these are two things that you may be doing wrong. Three things, in fact. Wrong stress, not saying the right vowels, not saying the right consonant sounds, not dropping sounds. Somebody once said to me that English is somewhat about getting rid of words and sounds. I couldn't agree more. It's weird, but it's true. And maybe, just maybe, You're looking at words like this, and you're not doing the right connected speech. Instead of saying, don't you could just say, don't you? Don't you? Those tips are things that native speakers will never teach you. Nobody's going to say, oh, don't you like it? And they're not going to say, no, you need to say, don't you? That's not what happens in real life conversations. They just either go, and they panic and they run away, or they kind of just try and talk around the situation. The thing is, I've explained why native speakers are not going to correct you unless they have the training. That's why pronunciation isn't just about exposure. It's about training. Training your muscles. I'm talking about the muscles in your mouth. We don't need to go to the gym. Sort of. But it's about training the muscles. If you want to get that E sound right in sheet, we need to get your mouth. Somebody said, I love your mug. Thank you. Thank you. Silent Letter Day. I love Silent Letter Day. It's a joke by Michael McIntyre. Pronunciation isn't just about exposure. You're not going to get it by osmosis. It's about training your muscles in your mouth. That's why it's different to learning words. You're actually doing something physical. You're training your brain. You're training your awareness. Think about it a bit like this. If you went to the gym, let me know if you like the gym. I do try to go at least once a year. Let me know if you went to the gym and you did squats or lifting with bad form every single day, would you get stronger? Maybe a little bit. But you'd also probably get injured. Now, imagine somebody comes in, a trainer, they adjust your posture, they correct your technique, they show you how to engage the right muscles. So instead of maybe doing too much here, you've got to equally balance. Then you get the results. That is what the pronunciation rewire method does. That is what it does. And by the way, it's not passive. It's not based on hoping for the best. It's an intentional way of shifting how you speak at the physical, neurological, and emotional level. So if you've been stuck, if you've been doing everything right, but you still feel frustrated, please know that it's not your fault. You don't need more words. You don't need more English. You need to change the patterns of how you produce English sounds. If I say a word like exactly with the wrong vowel, make it exactly, that's wrong. We need to change from inside to out. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Okay. I want to share a very personal story with you. We are going to talk about different oral postures. This is, by the way, what they do. It's changing your oral postures. And like I say, it's called the pronunciation rewire method. So I want to tell you a little story, a personal story. Look at that page there. Let me make it bigger because that person there, next to the gentleman with the beard, is an amazing human being. She's my wife. Now, some of you might already know this, but my wife is Brazilian. She's from Belo Horizonte, before you start asking, and yes, I have lived there. There she is. Hiya. You're very welcome. But you are the best, you know. It clearly is Beauty and the Beast right there. You're the beauty before you get worried, Luciana. You might already know this, but my wife is Brazilian. She speaks beautiful English. She's fluent. She's expressive. Sh Oh, from Rio. She is nice. She's a lovely person. Lovely. She's fluent in English. She speaks beautiful English. She's fluent. She's expressive, and she's confident. However, I'm going to tell you about this word. There was one word that kept coming out a little bit off. That word was car. 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 Now, in Brazilian Portuguese, there is a similar sound. So she assumed that she was getting it right. But one day I noticed something. The vowel that she was making was tight. It was narrow, almost closed. She was saying more like ka. She is. She is. There she is. She's Brazilian, although she's got a British name now. She took my name. So she was saying ka, 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 ka. So, she was saying, I want to get in the car. The car. Okay. It was a little bit more like ka than car. The difference wasn't in spelling. It wasn't in the meaning. It was in her mouth. Her tongue was too high. Her jaw was too tight. Her oral posture was still working in Portuguese mode. Now, could I understand her? Yes. Absolutely. I knew what she meant when she said, are we going to drive the car? I understood. But did it sound like natural British English? Not quite. And here's the thing. She never even noticed it because her brain had just kind of filed it under correct. If we're on a computer, go correct. She was unconsciously using her first language pathways to speak English. And that's exactly what most people do. Not because they're lazy, but because that is what your brain is designed to do. It takes the shortcut, the road that already exists. So what do? We build new roads. Notice the difference. Instead of it's ah. 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 We create new neural pathways by training the muscles. We train your tongue, your lips, your jaw. In the case of that sound, and I'll be talking about it tomorrow, your tongue is down and back. Ah. Your mouth is open, your jaw wide, like jaw. If I exaggerate. Car. Car. Probably a little bit closed when we're speaking naturally. Car. Car. But the tongue is still back. It's not car, it's car. After time, we create these new neural pathways. And that means that person, the student, my wife, can make the right sounds without ever having to think about it. She doesn't sit there and go, are we going to get into the car? She says, are we going to get in the car? And that's because she's perfected that sound now. It's just like singing, it's just like sport. This isn't just intellectual knowledge, it's about body memory. That's what you're doing here. You're not just learning about the pronunciation, you are rebuilding it one sound at a time. And by the way, that sound is so important because the other thing she didn't realize she was doing before correcting that. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. We love you too. It's Leviosa. My wife wrote it's Leviosa, not Lev. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. Oh dear. I love you. So the thing is, if she's saying ka in that one there, it's bleeding into other words. Car, far, bar. She'll be saying more like ka, bar, bar. And that can cause confusion down the line. If she's taking that one wrong sound and bleeding into other ones, it can cause a problem. And this, particularly in a modern British RP accent, is incredibly important because it also appears in words like, oh, there's the sound, by the way. It appears in words like bath, path, and grass. But remember at the start when I told you that I moved from Derby, these three words would have been path, bath, and grass in the other order. Now they're path, bath, path, and grass. It is an incredibly important sound that she's mastered. So if you've ever felt like, oh, I should sound better by now, please just do me one favor. Be kind to yourself. This is deeper than knowing words. It's about retraining the system that makes your voice. And that takes time, awareness, and the right method. And you're already doing it right now. If you've been sitting there with me, instead of going car and doing car, that's a big step. So you might now be wondering, if I've been speaking English for years, why hasn't my pronunciation naturally improved? Here's the answer. Your brain is not broken. It's actually brilliant. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It is saving energy. It's choosing familiar routes. It's trying to actually help you. But here's the catch. When you speak English, your brain tries to use those exact same pathways it built in your first language. Maybe it's Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, whatever your first language is. Please let me know what your first language is. You can sort of fake the sounds, but it doesn't sound right. And that's why even advanced learners, they just plateau. This is why you can understand everything, but you still feel lots of different languages, and it's all the same. You will be dragging sounds over, be it Arabic, Portuguese, Romanian. I don't know why my hand is here. It's like this. Igbo, Nepalese, Spanish, Georgian. My goodness, lots of languages. And I promise you, it doesn't matter where you're from. You'll all be doing the same thing. You'll be taking some sounds from your first language into English. This is why people say to me all the time, but I can understand everything, but I still feel so self-conscious when I speak. Have you ever said this? It's because your tongue, your lips, your jaw, they're using those habits you built in your first language. This is not about knowledge of words. It's about neurological patterning. The good news, your brain is also plastic. I mean, not literally, not made of plastic. I hope not. It's neuroplastic. This means you can create new roads, new connections, new default settings, like my wife did. With the right guidance, your brain can learn to speak British English as if it was just second nature. You shouldn't sit there thinking about how are you getting those sounds out. You should eventually be thinking about the words that you're saying, not just intellectual, but physically, it should be second nature. And that is the heart of the pronunciation rewire method. It's not just about teaching you what to say, it's teaching your brain and your body how to produce it clearly, naturally, and confidently. So if you've ever blamed yourself, there's Isabella's question. Doesn't the letter I have different pronunciation? This is something we're going to talk about tomorrow. You cannot trust the spelling. Yes, you can have a I, like in Tim. You could have a E sound sometimes, but possibly. You could have a I, like in time. There are several different pronunciations of letters. Don't worry, we'll cover that. So if you've ever blamed yourself, If you've ever thought, maybe I'm just not good at pronunciation, please hear this. You are not behind. You're not the exception. You've just never been shown how to retrain the system until now. And that is exactly what we're going to put into practice tomorrow. This tomorrow is the hard, the graft. I want you to know one thing. This is about love. You need to love yourself and know that we are in this process. We are together. So let's bring everything together now into a method you can actually follow. This that I'm about to talk about, the pronunciation rewire method, is the framework, the exact framework I've used with thousands of students. It's simple, powerful, and when done consistently, it changes everything. I call it the pronunciation rewire method, and it is built on 3 core steps. Step number 1. Well, there it is, the 3 steps of the pronunciation. Step 1, oral posture rewiring. We start with the foundation. Before you say a word, your mouth already has a pattern. This is why lip readers can do this. Your mouth makes a pattern. If I say my name, Roy, look at the journey. Roy. Now I won't say this, I won't make a sound. You could ask my wife that. I would love to bring her with me tomorrow, but she's at home with our son at the moment. So it would be interesting with my son here. So this is all about patterns. Most of the time, though, when you're speaking English, that pattern is from your first language. It shapes everything. So we go in with step number 1, with oral posture rewiring, and we rebuild that structure. You will learn where to place your tongue, how to move your lips and your jaw, and how to create the space for new sounds to come through clean, confidently, and in a modern British RP accent. And I said I'd talk a little bit about some signature sounds as well. We'll get to that because there is a really important thing. But step 2 of the pronunciation rewire method is active. Oh, there we go. Sorry, my cursor isn't moving very quickly. Active sound training. This is where we break the habit of passive listening and we go deep. We go deep into it. We train each sound with intention. We use our muscles, your awareness, your feedback. It's not about just repeating like a parrot. It's about activating the sound until the brain, your body, recognizes this is my sound. This is the part actually most learners skip. And it's why progress stalls often. And people are there 10 years later going, why is this not worked? It's because we need to activate the sounds with active sound training. And finally, step 3 is called melody and flow practice. This is where everything starts to sound natural. You learn how to link words like a native speaker. So you're not saying, don't you? You're saying, oh, don't you? Don't you? You're not saying exactly. You're saying exactly. You'll explore rhythm, intonation, and the unique musicality of a modern British RP accent. Because fluency isn't just about accuracy, it's about flow. And when all 3 of those steps come together, your pronunciation doesn't just improve, it transforms. Now, over the next 2 days, we're going to go deeper into each of these steps. Tomorrow, you will get your first practical taste Let me show you. You will get your first pronunciation shift. We will retrain some of the most commonly mispronounced British sounds and start shifting your oral posture in real time. We are going to do it together. Then on day 3, we'll unlock melody training. Oh, there we go. We'll unlock melody training. This is the step that most people never get taught, and it's the one that makes the biggest difference. If you stay with me for 3 days, you'll start to hear yourself differently. And that's when confidence kicks in. It's not about becoming someone else, it's about sounding like you. Stick with me, and we will make you sound like you with clarity, confidence, and power in English. So, how are you feeling? Let me know. How are you feeling? Today, we've laid the foundation. We've talked about what pronunciation really is, why it's been so hard, why it's not your fault, and how the brain, the body, and the right method can unlock fluency in ways that feel natural and real. But this honestly was just the beginning. Hopeful, lovely. Yes, yes, it's all about love. It's about love. Tomorrow we go hands on. You're going to learn how to physically shape some of the most important sounds in a modern British RP accent. The ones that create instant clarity when you speak. The ones that are most often misunderstood by learners from other languages. You'll finally see how to train your mouth and not just your mind. We're going to use 2 tools that are absolutely essential. 2 tools from the first 2 steps. Oral posture resetting to retrain the way your sound is formed, and active sound activation to move beyond passive listening into real transformation. We're going to undo some habits that have been with you for years, and it's going to feel exciting. Maybe a bit weird, but absolutely powerful. And by the way, here's what I would love you to do between now and then. Just take a moment today and say this. You can say it in the mirror. I'm going to put it in the comments for you. You could say it to yourself. You could say it in the mirror. You could say it, you could write it in your journal. I want you to write this. I can learn to speak in a way that feels fluent, confident, and fully me. Say it with me. I can learn to speak in a way that sounds fluent, confident, and fully me. I can learn to speak in a way that feels fluent, confident, and fully me. You can do it. You don't have to earn that. You just have to retrain for it. And tomorrow, we begin. Same time, same place, 6 p.m. UK time. And I did promise you one signature sound of a modern British RP accent before I chip off. Here's a signature sound in one of my favorite animals in the world, a dog. In a modern British RP accent and in British English, we have an oh vowel sound. Look at the shape of my mouth. Oh, oh, dog, 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 dog. If you can master the shape and the sound of that, you are instantly going to elevate your English. Now, as I said, nobody's going to correct you if you use the American pronunciation. Dog, dog. Oh, look, a dog. But for me, this is a dog. One sound, completely different, will change everything. I can learn to speak in a way that feels fluent, confident, and fully me. That is what I want you to tell yourself over and over again. You're with me now. And yes, you don't have to earn it. We are going to retrain, and tomorrow we begin. Tomorrow we start. Same time, same place, right here on YouTube, 6 p.m. UK time. I will be here waiting for you. Now go and rest your voice because you'll need it tomorrow. We are going to use it a lot tomorrow. I love you guys. Thank you, you wonderful people. Have a lovely, lovely evening. I will see you very soon. Same time, same place, right here, 6 p.m. UK time. Lots of love, guys. Have a great evening.